Hey everybody, Adam back again, Turbo Timber Evolution 1.5 bind and fly. And today we're gonna set it up. We've unboxed it, we've built it, but now we gotta get it ready to go fly. So we're gonna do our pre-flight checklist, make sure our radio system is working, how to install the battery, and you guys will be ready to take yours out and go fly. The first step in the process before we set up anything is gonna be to take the propeller off. Anytime we're gonna work on the airplane or before we power it off, take the propeller off. So that'll be the first step. We're gonna take the propeller off. Super simple if you saw it in the build video. Otherwise, we're gonna take the screw off and then undo the nut and it just slides off. It's super easy and we'll do that now. Loosen that screw. Nose cone will slide off. We're going to take our adjustable wrench on this nut and just loosen it quick and slide the propeller and the collet and everything will come right off. All right, now we're safe to work on the airplane. So let's go ahead and put a battery in it and we'll set up our radio. One of the coolest features about the new Turbo Timber Evolution is the hatch on top. Previous Timbers, you had to go underneath to install the battery. This one has this massive hatch right here, and it's just magnet. We're gonna grab it and pull it. And you can see how big this area is. Here's my hand. So to install the battery, we're just gonna undo the hook and loop here. I'm gonna undo both of them. Now, this big compartment will hold anything from a 2200 to a 5000 milliamp 3S or 4S LiPo. The battery I have here is a 3200 3S. We're gonna get our bind plug out of the way here. We're just gonna slide that battery in and you can see it fits perfect. Now, if you recognize this battery, it's actually the battery out of The Apprentice. Now, a lot of you guys are probably gonna be coming from The Apprentice to the Turbo Timber, and you can use that same battery. We need our bind plug. Bind plug is gonna go right here. And now we can power up the aircraft. These only go in one way. This is an IC3 connection. The EC3s will fit as well. Now, if I look back in here, I can see that the light is flashing. So we are in bind mode. All right, so next I'm gonna put my radio into bind mode. I'm gonna hold the bind button down on my radio and turn it on. Now that the bind is complete, we can remove the bind plug. Now that's how to bind it if you wanna bind it with safe off. If you wanna bind it with safe on, I'll show you how to do that. So to bind the airplane with safe on, we're gonna install the bind plug again. We're gonna attach our power leads. We're gonna wait for it to initialize. I'm gonna look inside, make sure it's flashing. It is in bind mode. Now that it's in bind mode, we're gonna remove the plug and now bind our radio. Once we are bound and hooked up, we can attach our canopy back by sliding it in the front and letting those magnets do the work. Now you should have your radio set up before binding the airplane. I went ahead and I went to spectrumrc.com and downloaded the Turbo Timber Evolution setup file right to my radio. We have videos on how to do that. Also, you can go in the manual and set it up in the manual if you'd rather do it that way. But either way, you're gonna wanna set up your radio prior to binding the airplane. Now that it is set up and bound to my radio, we're gonna check the control surfaces and make sure everything works. This is what I call the pre-flight checklist. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna move my aileron to the left, which is gonna be this guy. We should see it go up and the one on the right go down. And we do. So we can see aileron goes up and the other one goes down. Now if I go to the right, this one should go down and that one should go up. And it does. Okay, so we know our ailerons are working. We're gonna check our rudder next. We're gonna go left and it's going left. We want to check right, and it's moving right. We're going to check our elevator. I'm going to pull down, which should make the elevator go up, and it does. And now I'm going to push forward on the elevator, and it should go down, and it does. Okay, so all of our control surfaces are working in the right direction, which is very important before takeoff. Now we can check our throttle. Since we don't have our propeller on, we know we're safe. And we can hear the motor spin up. Now we can check our throttle hold, which is set up. We're gonna flick throttle hold on our radio and move the throttle, and nothing happens. So we know that our throttle hold is working. All right, everybody. We've done our pre-flight check with our radio. Everything's moving in the right direction. The only thing left to do is to install the propeller. But before we install the propeller, we need to remove the battery and unplug it. We're going to unplug the battery here. Whenever you're not flying, it's always wise to remove the battery from the airplane. Don't store it in the airplane. And now we can attach our propeller again. And that concludes our 3-part video series on the Turbo Timber Evolution. We have now went over it, unboxed it, built it, shown you how to set it up, and now it's up to you to go fly it. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time.